What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Anchored In Podcast, episode number 2. We got so much in store for you here today. We got Marner back in town in Toronto on Friday. We got the Avs versus the Leafs that happened this Sunday. We got AFC Championship, NFC Championship, road to Super Bowl 60, and so many more recaps and big takes here for you today. Stick along for the ride, because we got another great one in store for you.
Come get your duds in order, 'cause we're bound to cross the water. Heave away, me jollies, heave away. Come get your duds in order, 'cause we're bound to leave tomorrow. Heave away, me jolly boys, we're all bound away.
What's going on, boys? What a beautiful intro that just was. We got a snowy day outside here in Toronto. I'm looking at it just in fear of going out there tomorrow morning. And the Leafs right now, struggling heavy, folks. Stolarz just came in about a few days ago. Friday morning was when they announced that he was going to be in the lineup versus the Golden Knights. They lose 6-3 to the Golden Knights. Now drop a 4-1 loss over the Avalanche. What's going on over in Leafs Nation right now, fellas?
The worst part about it is, like, talking about the snow is, I was hyping up Marner's return, saying it's going to be like a heated rivalry in this polar vortex and and it clearly wasn't that. They ran us over. And our main man, Berube, he's getting in bar fights or something, because I just don't agree with the decision starting a attendee that hasn't seen ice since mid-November and getting absolutely shell-shocked by one of the best teams in the league. I can't even, begin to understand the thought process there. But yeah, I was just purely confused when I saw that Stoli was coming back. I had a feeling he wasn't going to get starts in the AHL, but just thrown into the fire against Vegas. I'm still so confused.
Yeah, something was definitely up with Craig Berube's head, I guess we could say, after the gym incident that we saw take place the other day. Earlier in the week, it was pretty insane when he took off the lid and just revealed what happened, and how nonchalant he was about the whole thing was pretty crazy too.
Man, I was in class. It was our Friday morning class, so we had the on-air, or the on-desk class.
Yeah.
And Buddy Nolan in my class there, he shows me a video and goes, "Look at Craig Berube's head. He got in a fight or something." First thing I thought of, when Biz Nasty got jumped by those guys at the bar way back. And I was like, what happened here? I see the video. I see his black eye, and I was like, he could have just, been doing some hammer curls, just absolutely getting ripped in the gym, and then just dropped a dumbbell on his noggin. But then he takes the cap off, and he looks like Frankenstein out there on the bench. And I'm so concerned on what happened, because he had to do some elite workouts to get that type of injury.
That's what I'm saying. There's 50-something stitches in his head. Something got thrown at him or something.
Oh,
I don't.
It's hard to fathom what was even going on in the moment when that injury occurred. Maybe some overhead press, or I don't know, maybe something laying down on the bench.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall in Craig Berube's gym, just throwing around fives at each other, just a barn brawl.
He's
I
got a
think that would
Rusty
go
Smith
viral if
machine,
you
boys.
posted a
The
video of
thing
that.
doesn't have a whole lot of give in it. It just dropped on him. I wonder if the bird swung around his head like it did in the commercial or in the cartoons back in the day. He just got rung.
Gotta
Yeah,
be just
but
just a big goose egg that just grows out of his head.
He's
was
the
seeing
type to drive
stars for
himself
sure.
to the hospital too after an event like that.
Oh, I believe that 100%.
Just blood leaking down his face, and he's like, "God
I'm
damn it!"
okay. I'm okay.
Just the guy's guy. That's all.
Absolutely.
Shows up to work the next day like nothing happened. Gets on the
Yeah.
media table and says, "Look at this now."
And that's
Oh,
what the
it's
Leafs
awesome.
need. That's what we were told. The Leafs need a guy like that. Craig
But
Berube
yeah, I mean,
now, however
At
old he
that point,
is.
just let him lace him up then.
Yeah, honestly.
Couldn't hurt.
Put him
At
out
this
there for
point?
the power play.
Any special teams, any fourth line, I don't care. Give him some ice time.
Well, the brain definitely was not in the works for the last two games, boys. I'm just going to say that one. 6-3, 4-1. I mean, against two of the top teams here in the league, the Knights and the Avalanche.
Mm-hmm.
But to get blown up as bad as they have, not even really have a fight there. In the Avalanche game, Domi just tucks one late. Doesn't even go to the bench for handshakes because they know they're just not in it. and it was a sad game to watch this morning.
Yeah, it's been
Seats
hard
were
to
empty.
see.
Yeah, but I think too, like you looked going into this Avs game, like if it's possible for a team like that to start slipping, like they were dropping games. Like I think they lost to the Flyers. I believe they lost like 7-3. Yeah. Tippett's second career hat trick. So like they were getting ripped apart by teams that shouldn't be ripping the Avs apart. But I mean, it was no surprise that they kind of just like came back and locked back in, and it's wild just seeing. Of course, like Brock Nelson came out of that with a hat trick, which I looked up the stat. I just felt like the Leafs were like one of the highest teams for leaking hat tricks. They aren't, luckily. Like I thought that was another painful statistic I'd have to carry forward. But no, look, I pulled it up. Like last year, Nelson had 26 in 80 games. This year he's got 27 in 50, which is unheard of. Like that. Like speaking of Brock Nelson, I used to always draft that guy in fantasy like really late because he's just Mr. Reliable.
Yeah,
And I mean, you hate
honestly.
to see that against the Leafs, but like he's a sneaky good goal scorer, and he notches 3 in that in that game.
Yeah, he's kind of been
I
getting
can't believe
better
he's
with age.
34.
It's it's
Yeah.
insane.
This guy looks like he's pushing Gordie Howe numbers on games played.
Yeah, dude.
And he's still sniping the way he is. Like this season, he's got 27 goals, 18 assists, 45 points in 50 games played. Like
Unreal.
he's a
been
key
great.
player on the Avalanche still.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
But he looks like he's going to croak on the ice.
yeah.
I'm going to be honest. He looks like he might croak out there if he gets a heavy hit.
Dude, and like the most frustrating part, like I was watching this game and like, like if you're down 2-0, like that's a closable gap, like it's not like
Oh yeah.
it's not like you're dropping Sens numbers or anything where you're down like 8-0, 7-0.
Come on. Did you see
But
the
I-
game
like-
tonight?
No, like the thing is then you see Jack Drury get the third one, and then like you start to worry. But I think like the main takeaway from that game, like with that slump in general, is just how valuable Willie is. Like there were so many chances there where I thought to myself, like, I feel like Willie's gonna bury that one, or he's gonna like create a better play, because a lot of the time there's guys that kind of get breaks and looks and stuff like that aren't as lethal, that aren't gonna finish their chances. And I mean, needless to say, the Leafs need the big Swede back for sure.
They just can't produce without him right now. I mean, I guess Stolar's being in nets against Vegas didn't help at all, but like the boys are struggling right now after having like a pretty good start after getting the big switch there on the power play and the assistant coaches being switched up there. But right now it looks like they're back on that decline without William Nylander, and Matthews really can't produce without him, it seems.
Yeah, the depth is just kind of coming out and showing that it's lacking a little bit, it seems like, with the Leafs right now. They lose Nylander, who's, he's kind of been overall, their most consistent player over the last year or even 2 years, and then all of a sudden he drops to the lineup and Matthews is looking like he's struggling again to get on the offensive side of things, and the rest of the lineup is kind of following him. He's the leader, and he's been struggling so far for a lot of this season, it seems like.
Yeah, and obviously no one wants to get back on the ice more than him. Like
No.
I don't know if you guys saw, they're putting him on cam there, and he's flashing the bird out to the broadcast, and then he posted a story a little bit ago just like apologizing to Leafs Nation, but he just doesn't
Yeah, that's
care,
funny.
which is like it's just funny to me. But I don't know, like even with that game, like obviously they did lose, no shit, but like I don't know, there were good like bright spots. Like I don't know, I think Waller made some pretty good saves there. Like he looks solid. It's not as if like the goals he leaked were like, oh, he should have had all those or anything like that. Like I don't know, like I think when the Leafs are struggling like this, you need to find some sort of bright spot, or else it's a very dark road you're gonna turn down. But no, like I said, hopefully they can kind of nurse Stoli back to what he can normally do, because some of those goals he let in Vegas were abysmal. But I mean, that was to be expected. Like I said, you hung him out to dry there after being out for so long. But yeah, I think like once those two get clicking, you go from the back forward. Like once they're like putting up bigger numbers and leaking less, and then we'll see if like the decor can kind of figure that out. Like fingers crossed on Dougie Hamilton. I'm planning to
Oh
say that
yeah,
on every
exactly.
pod.
Speaking of the decor,
Yeah.
we got to strengthen that up. I think with like the way that the Fords are producing right now, I guess the Leafs for the last couple of years have been always forward heavy, like rely a
Yeah.
lot on that power play production. Just that backup. Morgan Riley, he can be that Leafs player that everybody looks at and says, wow, we're so lucky to have Morgan Riley. But in all honesty, there's just not anybody on that blue line that teams look at and they're like, wow, we really got to have two guys on him up high, make sure he doesn't leak down low and get a chance in front type stuff. Like, Riley's just there to control the blue line, dump pucks into the corners, and let the forwards do the rest of the dirty work, and then potentially find one where he gets an open chance in the lane. But, like, there's none of that, like, heavy hitter stuff where as soon as a guy gets a puck up front, it's going to be wired to the mesh. And I think the Leafs need that right now.
Yeah, I just think like the upside that you get from Dougie Hamilton, and again, like I've never been a big Morgan Riley guy, and I mean I'm not gonna sit on this pod and bash him because that's just idiotic because like he is a good player to a certain extent. I just think like when they signed that 8-year contract, I thought it was too far gone. If if you just like hear me out here, you think about Dougie Hamilton quarterbacking that power play, like he throws pucks at the net like there's no tomorrow. And he's so like an offense first kind of guy, which again, like that's a very good asset you want to have on your back end, especially like you look at I think last time I was kind of diving into what was going on there, but he'd only played like a minute and change on the Devils power play, and then now he's back and I think he's on like a 9 or 8 point streak all of a sudden because they put him back on the power play. Who would have thought? But I don't know. It's just you got to think there's only so many like good fits and good destinations for him. The only other one that I've heard and I think may happen is the Stars might pick him up just because that dump after Tyler Seguin being out for the rest of the year. They might be able to move some stuff around, and I don't even want to see that team get any scarier. But that is I think that one's very, very possible too. It's just Leafs Nation wise, you want to see him come.
I don't want to get teased much more for like trades and free agency and all this stuff. Like the Leafs, like Toronto fans in general, have just been teased so much with trades and free agency signings in the last few months that, I would really love Dougie Hamilton to be on the blue line for the Leafs in the Leafs jersey, but I just can't stress it because I know how much I've stressed about Kyle Tucker and Bo Bichette and all those players that are available on that market over in the baseball world. And great signing. Would love to have him in the blue and white, but I'm not going to stress about it.
And now another thing that you got to think about is Luke Hughes just went on the IR for the Devils. So are they even going to want to move Dougie Hamilton anymore? Like they're missing a kind of a plug up top there, number 1 D guy. And so if Hughes is going to be out long term, there's a chance maybe that he'll just he'll stick around in New Jersey for another year.
Yeah, I don't even know if Dougie wants to be there anymore because you've heard trade rumors
I think
about.
he
I feel like
asked,
forever.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, like either like last year, somewhere along the lines of that. Like I believe he wanted out. And at this rate, it doesn't even look like they're going to make the playoffs this year. So
exactly.
If when it rolls around, like I think obviously the guy wants to play in the off, so he'll.
So boys, I got something here. So we got from pucksandpitchforks.com. Elliot Friedman confirms fate with Dougie Hamilton and the Devils. So we got a pretty big source here saying that Dougie Hamilton wants to split with this team. Everything online right now, when you search up Dougie Hamilton's name, it's like 5 potential trade destinations, big developments on Dougie Hamilton trade talks. This guy wants out. So It's a matter of what the Leafs are going to offer and what the Devils want on the table, and maybe they can work something out. But there's definitely other teams that would love to have a player like Dougie Hamilton on the blue line.
Yeah, I also, again, I I was kind of thinking this before he went on that point streak there, but because he was kind of falling off the face of the earth, like production wise. I might even think they might try and sell low on him to a certain extent.
But they build a little bit though. Like they're not just gonna toss him out there and just.
It's just the money, I guess, for them.
No,
mostly.
I know. Yeah, again, like being out of a playoff spot, that's a totally different scenario too. Like they're gonna want an addition to sort of push them over that red line and get into the playoffs. But I don't know, like we talk about playoff talk like all year round, and this is probably the year for me that it's so up in the air, at least in the East, obviously. This is the closest I think I've ever seen, or at least in a long while, point-wise, that it's been.
Yeah, it's been so close. It's just insane. Like, you look at the bottom team in the East to the the two teams in the wild card, it's like 8 points separating them, and it's been like that all year long. And it's just insane how far into the year we are, and it's still that close. Like, it's exciting, because hopefully it's going to come down to, the final weeks of the season where we see teams facing off against each other in games that actually matter for playoff position. And then, that gives you kind of a bit of an extended postseason almost. You get exciting games that matter earlier on in the year, and then kind of sets the stage for the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I think it's going to be a good playoffs this year. We've got so many talented teams. Everyone's above 500 pretty much in the NHL this year. So there's just a lot of competition, which has been good. A lot of teams that could possibly make a deep run if things just go right for them. The Leafs, being one of them.
Yeah, I think we're getting a little bit of a taste here. We got a taste of it back in summertime leading into fall baseball. Felt like every game for the Blue Jays kind of mattered a little bit more as we got deeper in towards playoff time. But yeah, heading into the NHL season, all teams were kind of firing on all cylinders. Right now, it's kind of staying the same. Like the Atlantic Division, for example, Billsy loves this one. Just wait. But the Atlantic Division, that thing's switching up and down every single hour of the day, it seems. Like teams will be in the top 5, and then all of a sudden they're at the bottom of the Atlantic. Like it makes no sense with how quick things are moving in that division, and it's honestly crazy to see. But I honestly like it as a primary hockey fan. Like, yes, I love the Leafs, but I'll watch any game on TV. It's nice to see a lot of these other teams and how they play and how they're producing this season, because everybody's kind of finding a way to produce so far.
Yeah, it's just I keep seeing this stat pop up about like the whole goal differential thing with the Sens, and like the pure reason they sit where they do, what you were saying about the basement of the Atlantic, is purely because of the mass amount of goals they leak. Obviously, no kidding. But I think I saw like some sort of metric that if they were to like half that or whatever, they would sit at least in second in the Atlantic and hold it for majority of the season this year, which is just an insane statistic. I mean, like obviously, like weak goaltending is weak goaltending, but that's like next level weak goaltending.
Well, that's the thing, like we've seen bad goaltending teams that have managed to get into the playoffs, whatever, obviously we've seen Aiden Hill in the finals as a Stanley Cup winning goaltender. So, you don't need an elite talent like Andrei Vasilevsky or, Sorokin, Hellebuck to get it done. But yeah, like you said, the Sens goaltending this season has just been on an all-time bad level. Like the save percentage is in the low. There goes Cohen. That's not good. Hopefully he can get us logged or get logged back in here soon. Technical difficulties here in episode number 2. There he is.
Oh, we're back. Continue on what you guys were saying.
All good. Yeah, all good. Anyway, so yeah.
Sorry about that, boys.
The goaltending just being such a, I don't even know the word I'm looking for here, just an obvious point of concern. And yeah, I mean, there's no other way to put it, really. You got it.
Well, boys, we got AFC just wrapping up here. NFC just wrapping up as well, I meant. Right now, 31-27 Seahawks versus Rams in the fourth quarter with 3:05 to go. This is a tight one. But let's talk about a somewhat of a snooze fest, some would say, in the AFC Championship game that went down earlier this evening. 10-7, New England Patriots heading to the Super Bowl. just like back in the Tom Brady days, against a defensively strong Denver Broncos squad that had a secondary quarterback that was still pretty efficient there offensively, but low-scoring game. What do you guys think of it?
Yeah, well, snooze fest is definitely the right way to put it, I would say. 10-7, geez. I mean, it was looking like those earlier season Monday Night Football games we were getting every single week, just, an absolute stinker like that. But then,
Well,
yeah, like you said, it was, you know, the defense of the Broncos obviously stuck out there. Low point scoring game for both sides, but Drake May, he finds a way to get it done. The only New England touchdown of the game, he runs it in, and then just a field goal ends up being the difference. It's kind of insane how you can see these teams so offensively talented make it this far, and then it comes down to it, and they're only scoring 1 or 2 touchdowns a game. So it kind of just comes to show how key defense is in situations like this. And Stidham almost got it done for the Broncos, but unfortunately, he comes up just short. Would have been a cool story to see him get to the Super Bowl, but Drake May, obviously, he's earned his spot in the big game this season. I'm sure he'll be ready for the performance that he'll have to put up.
Well,
Yeah,
on
just-
paper... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jack. Go ahead.
all I was gonna say is just like it just pains me to see another Boston franchise go even further in the playoffs, and yeah, I'm so very much tired of it. Anyways, go ahead though, Cohen. It's all good.
On
It's a good
paper, I
point.
mean, Jarrett Stidham did have a better game than Drake May. Stidham had 17 completions on 31 attempts, 133 yards, 1 touchdown passing, but did give up that 1 interception there. Drake May only 86 passing yards on the day. What
Yeah.
happened there?
Yeah.
Did the Denver
Dude.
Broncos defense just really shut things down?
Well, I mean, PS2 is one of the most elite quarterbacks in the league and will be for the end of time. But
He's a legend.
yeah, it's so funny because everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Drake May, MVP." Sure, MVP for a good amount of his season, but I don't know. I thought that game was a bit of a stinker. It was more like a battle of the defenses than anything. It wasn't like I mean, we'll get into it later, but that Rams Seahawks game, that was some offensive prowess. That's totally different, but I don't know, I think even when there was so many times when Drake May was trying to find anybody on these deep throws, and the Broncos were able to just hold it down the entire time, and that's just a testament to how good that defense is. Obviously, it fell through the cracks here and there, but I don't know. I still think that game could have went either way. People underrated Stidham, and I get it. Bo Nix is one of the better athletes in the league to a certain extent, but I don't know. Stidham was moving out there.
I mean,
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
the
Go ahead.
Rams Seahawks game right now, I sure hope people are thinking that this was going to be an absolute airstrike of a football game. Both quarterbacks right now, 300 plus yards, 3 touchdowns each, over 20 completions for each of them. What a different game on paper than the AFC Championship game. I mean, the Denver Broncos show that defense can win championships, but probably not when you have a backup quarterback that only plays 1 snap all year. They're not running the ball right now. Blake Corkum has 55 yards at the moment with 9 carries. Kenneth Walker has 65 yards on 18 carries with 1 touchdown. This is a good game we got on the go right now, and I can't wait to recap it once it's done because it's just hitting the 2-minute mark right now.
Yeah, I think I was just I was watching that game and kind of taking notes, obviously, as it was going through, but just watching Walker and JSN, those two are terrifying. I think this was maybe at halftime or very, very early in the game. JSN had 7 catches for 115 yards in the first. I don't know the exact frame that it was, but they were clicking, and they were clicking well.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I would honestly love the Seahawks to go to the Super Bowl, but go ahead there, Luke, because we've kind of been chatting back and forth, me and Jack. Let's get you to have a little piece in this conversation.
I was just gonna say, yeah, for as calm and defensive for the AFC game as it was good to see how, we knew the LA Rams offense was going to be explosive in this game, and then Seattle obviously coming into it. They've been favorites for, quite a few weeks now. This game that we've got in front of us has just been such a good one. So much offense. Like I was kind of coming back to the original point. Good to get an offensive minded game in the NFC after the defensive battle that it was for the Patriots and Broncos. Kind of keeps things, even for both fans of both sides of the game. You get defensive battle. Some people find that entertaining. Not myself personally. I always like to see a lot of points put up on the board, so I'll be going for the offensive side of things. But we saw a good variety in both those games, I would say.
Yeah, no, we're at the 1:15 mark, so clearly the 2-minute stretch is not really lasting as long as most
No.
games would be. Seahawks ball right now. You know what, folks? We're going to take a quick break because this game is just so close. We got to watch it, and we will be right back after the break with a beautiful recap of this NFC Championship game, and we'll blend it into the AFC Championship game, and we'll have a beautiful second half of this podcast. So stick around, and we'll be right back right after this break. What's going on, guys? We are back after that short break. The Seattle Seahawks end up taking it all here in the NFC Championship. Final score 31-27. Over the LA Rams. Matthew Stafford's MVP run has come to an end, folks. Seahawks versus Patriots Super Bowl rematch from 2015 when Katy Perry was the halftime show performer. Let's hear you roar. Woo! Boys,
Well, the
what are your thoughts
energy
heading
is
into the
high
Super
right
Bowl?
now.
Do we got some crazy takes going into it and some score predictions? Let me and the folks at home hear it all right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, well, first off, that whole Seahawks game, Seahawks-Rams, sorry, the Seahawks are so good offensively. Like, they got started early. Like, JSN and Kenneth Walker are just such a problem offensively. That was wild in itself. But talking about, like, the Super Bowl, I think that's the Seahawks Super Bowl to lose. And a lot of people aren't going to like that. I don't think Drake May and the Pats got all the pieces to get it done. I don't think they've got the Tom Brady winning pedigree, if you will.
Yeah, it's kind of how I feel, I think, as well. The Pats have done enough, and they've they've been good enough to make it this far. Some luck has maybe played into it as well a little bit with the Knicks injury and all that and whatnot. But yeah, I think the Seahawks are coming in this one as favorites. The offense is just so steady. They're gonna come in, and I have no doubt about it. They're gonna put up a ton of points in this Super Bowl. So it's gonna be an entertaining one for sure. Hopefully the Patriots can kind of match that tempo and keep it a good and even pace game for most of it. But I think, like you said, it's a good way to put it. It's the Seahawks Super Bowl to lose here this year.
Well, let's just talk about the game that took place in order for the Seahawks to get to the Super Bowl. I know I gave you guys like a lot about the Super Bowl coming up, Super Bowl number 60, and a lot of that to talk about here. But what a game it was to lead the Seahawks to this big championship game. Sam Darnold throws for 346 yards and 3 touchdowns on the night. Darnold, can you consider him finally an elite quarterback heading into this Super Bowl game with the performance, or what? Billsy, I see you shaking your head here. Let's get the take.
Not even shaking my head. I'm not ready to use the word elite when it comes to Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
If and when they win the Super Bowl, maybe I'll throw in the word elite. Actually, you know what? Even that, it depends on the game that he has. I think he's been pretty steady running this entire season, and I don't know if I put him in elite status, though, because when you think elite, you're thinking like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, like guys like that. I don't know if I'd put...
But they don't have a Super Bowl ring, is what like the argument is here. Like if he's able to get the Super Bowl ring, it's been Patrick Mahomes, which is beyond an elite quarterback in most people's eyes, and Tom Brady collecting the most rings in the recent years. Matthew Stafford got one. He's an elite quarterback. If Sam Darnold is able to put one up here, or even Mac Jones, as early of a career he is in, are these guys either considered elite if they get the chip in this one? Like, I guess they can both go into this topic.
I'm kind of on your side, Billsy. I think, he's good and he's good enough maybe to win them a Super Bowl, and he probably will be good enough for them to get it done here in this game. But I don't know if he's truly in that conversation with those guys as elite, even if he wins here in the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah,
So what
because
about Mac Jones? Let's also bring Mac Jones into this conversation because you guys are almost like I brought him up there, Luke, and you go all in on Sam Darnold. Is Mac Jones gonna be considered an elite quarterback with the season that he's had and how young he is going into this big game?
I want to say no as well, honestly. I'm not
Okay.
fully sold either. I still have to see more, I think, before I'm, sold on calling Mac Jones elite. There was some good stretches from him, but yeah, I don't think it's fully I'm fully there yet on him.
no, I think that that whole
Oh,
the Drake
sorry,
May.
boys. Sorry, boys. I've been
Yeah,
calling him
Drake.
Mac Jones.
Okay,
It's
I was-
Drake May. Jeez
I was-
Louise.
As I was wrapping
I'm
up there, I
back
was
at-
like, "Are you talking about Drake May?" Because we had
Drake
that happen
May,
at school.
that is a bad one on my end. I can't believe I've been doing that for the
That's
last
funny
2
that
minutes. I've been
we
thinking
say
about it.
that.
Everybody's been giving me weird looks here. Somebody's got to pipe up.
Well, that's funny that you say that because we as I was wrapping up there, I was like, "Is he talking about Drake May?" Because on Friday, Jack, if you remember, I don't know if you were in there or not, Mac did the same thing. He, instead of saying Drake May, said Mac Jones. He said,
Honest mistake.
I don't know if Mac Jones knows we're going to do it.
Drake
So
May, boys. I'm sorry
So-
to say.
it's not the first time we've had that mistake made. And
I'm looking at the sheets
it won't
right
be the
here, though.
last.
Like it's on paper in front of me. I'm just not able to get my words out
yeah,
and be accurate with this one.
I was
Anyways,
like,
Anyways, neither here nor there. To answer the
okay,
question, though,
so
in terms of Drake May getting all those
Drake May.
MVP chants throughout the season, not to be confused with Mac Jones, I'm not ready to hear elite either. I think the Pats just had a cushy schedule, easy schedule. Again, like elite is Tom Brady when you think of that, especially that Pats franchise.
That's
So you
GOAT,
don't-
though. That's more than elite. Like
Well, even
Mahomes
then.
is even in GOAT discussion with them. Not after last season, but I don't agree that he is in GOAT discussion. But we got a buddy named Zach who might say that he is the GOAT right now.
I think
But
you'd be right
anyways,
about
continue with your topic here.
Yeah, like in terms of MVP status, I think if the Rams were still in this, I think that's Matt Stafford's MVP easily.
He can still get it. Like that.
No,
the
I know, but
league MVP, but not the Super Bowl MVP.
I don't know. It's the reason I'm so like paused in between my thoughts is just I can't get over it that the Pats are going to be in the Super Bowl. Like I really cannot believe it. I didn't see it coming from a mile away. I'm sure a lot of people didn't.
No.
I mean, we're getting a nice little replay from 2015 there, but again, it's very different cast than compared to Brady and Wilson. We're getting Sam Darnold and Drake May. But I don't know. I think, like I said, I think the Seahawks run away with this one. I think they're one of the highest scoring, I believe they are the highest scoring defense in the NFC. And again, their offensive prowess has knocked over so many teams time and time again this season and the playoffs. Obviously, they're in the Super Bowl now, and I think it's going to be too much for the Patriots to handle.
No. I mean, like, I don't know what to say here, boys. Seahawks show that defense is definitely key in their game style, and Patriots also have that solid line on defense. But I personally think when it comes to the overall outcome of Super Bowl 60 coming up February 8th, yes, February 8th, I think the Seahawks are taking this one, and I think let's just start off with the game predictions because we still have a Raptors versus OKC Thunder game that just wrapped up here tonight
That's
that
right.
we still have to talk about. But I think Seahawks 24. Let's go Patriots 20. Let's keep it a 4-point spread, just like it was here tonight between the Rams and the Seahawks. I think it's going to be a similar outcome between the Seahawks and the Patriots. Sam Darnold and that Seahawks squad is going to come out on top.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a little weird swap because in 2015 the Pats beat the Seahawks 28-24. I simply just think it's gonna be a swap of that, just going on the Seahawks side this time.
Still 4-point differential, though.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go, excuse me, I think it's going to be an offensive outpouring from the Seahawks. So I'm thinking around 34 points to we'll say 34-27 final. Seahawks take it in Super Bowl 60.
So all three of us have Seahawks coming out on top in this one. Okay, so we're all on an equal playing field here. Let's switch over to the Raptors versus OKC Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Raptors take it in a 2-point lead, 103-101 against a 37-10 OKC Thunder squad. We mentioned them on the Instagram earlier, compared them to the Colorado Avalanche, which are also having a successful year this year. The Raptors able to come out on top in this one. Manuel quickly stepping up big time once again. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, this was a great game from the Raptors. And I'm just super impressed, honestly, with how they handled this one. Away, Sunday night, you're on the road, and you're playing the best team in the NBA. You're not really expected to get a win in this situation, but somehow the Raptors go in and they pull it out. They hold Shea to 24 points only, so, well below his season average. And then, yeah, like you said, quickly had a good game. He had 23 and with 11 rebounds. Scotty Barnes with the 10 and 11 double-double. Almost had a triple-double there. So just like the Raptors have been playing all year, it's the consistent team play, depth scoring, couple of guys in the double figures there, and that's just what gets it done for them. They play some good team defense, keep OKC to 101 points, and get the win against the best team in the NBA this year.
Yeah, I think seeing that win pulled off by the Raps there, that's the Raps going on full cylinders. Like, they can take down teams like the Thunder, like even like the play with because Scotty did put up 3 blocks that game. He took down Chet Holmgren like effortlessly. It almost looked like that. Scotty Barnes is such an animal, and like with additions of Ingram and having Quickly and Barrett, all those guys firing on all cylinders, they can take down teams like OKC. It's not like it's far away for them. So it's just been cool to see that whole team gel together this year, especially with like bench guys like Jamal Shed and Jacoby Walter, and Grady Dick's been having a good little run here. They're really starting to move like a well-oiled machine.
No, the Raptors, I mean, RJ Barrett being back in the lineup, going 14, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 14 points. Being back in the lineup, showing that he is key once again. Sandro Mamukelashvili learned how to say his last name just a few days ago. I know.
I'm honestly
pat on the
shocked
back for that one. Pat on
that
the
you
back
could
for
do
that one.
I could not do that on the air.
Replacing Jakob Poeltl at the center spot, able to produce the last few games, gets 10 points here tonight, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. Do you think he's going to replace Jakob Poeltl for the next few games? I know Jakob Poeltl has been questionable for a few games now, but definitely injury prone so far this season. And Anthony Davis is up there for the trade rumors as well, who's also injury prone. I heard that Domantas Sabonis is also in question there for the Raptors, a little bit more of a consistent player when it comes to court time and not so much getting injured, but a more offensive key to an already offensive Raptors lineup. What do you think of this guy stepping up out of nowheres, out of the shadows, and being a key producer for this Raptor squad so far in this half of the season?
Yeah, I mean, the Raptors have really used him well, and they've needed, someone to step up in the absence of Poeltl, who's missed a lot of time, and they don't really know how soon he's going to be back with what his issue is. So for him to have stepped up and been able to do what he's doing so far this season, it's been really good to see. And honestly, if the Raptors were to go to a guy like Anthony Davis or Sabonis through trade, it would be, it would be an exciting thing to add an all-star like that, and I wouldn't be against it. But if they also just stand pat and hope that this team can kind of develop as the season goes on and get a little healthier and start to gel a little more and play a bit better as they get closer to playoffs, it's not a bad idea either. So I think whatever they decide to do, if they want to stay where they are with the center depth and maybe try and just develop these teams or these prospects better, or go out and maybe get someone on a different team, it's a good choice either way. And the Raptors, they've kind of left themselves in a good spot, surprisingly, through this kind of retool that they've gone on these last couple of years.
I like it. I like it,
Yeah.
Jack.
I agree, Luke. I think also that's just the name of the game. Like guys are gonna get injured, but that's when you get to shine really, like coming off the bench and sort of getting your time to play. Do I think Mamu's gonna hold that spot? I mean, he's gonna have to without Jakob Poeltl in the mix. But you're even seeing with Colin Murray-Boyles being hurt, guys like Jamal Shed are getting more playing time coming off the bench, being without Murray-Boyles. So again, I'm gonna agree with Luke. It's not as if it's a need, I'd say, as some people may think, to go grab either Sabonis or Anthony Davis. Yes, it'd be insane, and it may show some shades of playoff success. But again, I'm comfortable with where the Raps are trending, at least, because they, like I said, they've put together 4 in a row here, and they don't look like there's many holes in this team. So we'll have to see where they do end up spending some money.
I mean, they've always been swapping. I think we mentioned this in the last podcast. They're always swapping their roster when it comes to players coming off the bench. Like, they're not afraid to use those bench players as consistently as they are. Forget to mention that the Raptors, on their 5-game road stretch there, they lost 2 and won 4. Or, sorry, 6-game road stretch, because they played the Clippers, Lakers, Warriors, Kings, Blazers, and then Thunder. Like, they're heating back up. I feel like they're a little bit of a streaky team right now because they lost 4 straight before that. Do you think these trades would definitely push them over the hump, or do you think if they let it ride out, see if all these starters get healthy, and do you think it is going to have an incline, or do you think the trade market is something they should kind of look for or be more aggressive in? I know you guys kind of gave a short form answer on that, but let's dive a little bit deeper in that because I like that conversation.
Yeah. Well, I think if you're asking what I think the Raptors are going to do, I think at the end of the day, they're going to stand pat. We're not going to see them make a big move, if you're being honest. I think they're probably happy with where they're at and probably also a little bit further ahead in the development of this team than they expected they would be at this point. Sitting at 4th or almost 3rd in the East, I think they're maybe a game or half a game back right now. So really, doing well, impressing pretty much everybody, I think, and they're going to be a team who is going to be probably a lock in the playoffs, not going to have to fight for a play-in spot, hopefully, which is exciting. So there's definitely always the potential of an ad, but I think at the end of the day, we're just going to see this Raptors team stay the same. Hopefully everybody gets healthy as playoff time comes around, and I think that's kind of the case with Poeltl, is that he's kind of easing back into it, being cautious because they know that they're going to need him at a certain time, but not right now with how they're playing without him. So I think, yeah, they're in a good spot, and I think if this team just continues to develop, it's going to be exciting for this year and then even for years to come down the line.
I like to hear it. Jack, let's get the input once again.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. We haven't seen many stretches when all the starting 5 is healthy, and when we have, that's when they're starting to roll. But in terms of, because we all love to dream as Toronto fans, I'd like to go see them get Domantas Sabonis just because I'd steer clear of Anthony Davis, just like you were mentioning before, Cohen. Like anyone that's injury prone, which it seems like half the NBA is injury prone, but any guy that can stay healthy and stay on the court are the ones you should have circled. I get like the point upside with guys like Anthony Davis and the athletic just dominance of him. I don't know, but I'd prefer to see them grab Sabonis just with a Mr. Reliable, if you will.
I like it. Mr. Reliable. That's definitely something that would explain Domantas Sabonis the best. Raptors come up and face the Knicks Wednesday, January 28th at 7:30 p.m. That is their next matchup. I believe they are back at home. That was the end of their road stretch. Able to end it off on a big note, defeating SGA, a Scarborough native, and coming out on top here. I believe that will do it here, folks. We are hitting the second half 20-minute mark. So I just want to thank you all for another amazing episode number 2 here on the Anchored In podcast. I am your host, Cohen Ingraham, alongside Luke Fitzner, Jack Billings. We have a new schedule coming up here for the podcast. We're going to try to make it every single Monday, coming to you guys live with some new sports news and information coming up with all major sports. Anything you guys want to say before we wrap it up here?
Not really. No, that's about it.
I just want to say, go Seahawks, go.
But he's got full money line spread, all of it on Sam
All the
Darnold.
above.
He's got rent on this game coming up. Stay tuned because we got a big Super Bowl episode coming the next Monday leading up into Super Bowl 60. It's been such a pleasure bringing episode 2 to you guys. Thank you so much. Anchored until we die, baby. Let's go.
Yes,
See
sir.
you guys for episode number 3 next Monday. Peace out.